ever be.
Hello everyone, Beat the Angel here. We're back with football discussion. We're pressed for time and with meeting a deadline, so we're not going to talk about the last week, so we'll say this. I don't want to talk about it anyway. Those games. There were a lot of games last week that should have been won, not just by our favorites, but a lot of others that should have been theirs, and they just slipped it up.
And just collapsed.
And then, of course, some near scares as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was the Bills. There was, and I will not say Chicago, because I'm saying the ones that nearly slipped up, but they held on in the end. Because the Bills had a lead, but they nearly would have went to overtime with the Jaguars. And then what was the other one? Patriots and the Dolphins. Because the Dolphins they were doing well, especially against Tom Brady.
And one of the players actually dropped a touchdown in the end zone for New England. So
wow.
At the very end of the game. But as we said, this is week 16 and we are pressed for time. So
what do you want to talk about first?
There's some Houston Texans news right there, Josh.
Yeah, Keenum's out and Ben Tate's out. His injuries have caught up with him at long last. A shame.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to use him up for this game especially because it's the last home game. You kind of want them to win. Who cares about the Titans game, really? But at least win your last home game. That's kind of a thing with football, that you want to win as many of your home games, especially as you do your away.
Right.
Because it's at home. That's where all the fans are.
Exactly.
But Keenum, before people start saying, wait, I thought the owner said that they're not going to bench Keenum. He's not benched. He apparently did get injured. His right thumb is done. We don't know about for this week, or not just this week, it might be the next week as well. But either way, he's gone at least for this week. Whether he'll come back, you have to hear that from the doctors. So Schaub's going to start. And at this point, I'm not going to care, but I would like for Schaub to... This would be a good chance for Schaub to redeem himself, especially if he can at least do pretty well against the Broncos. Because if you can get a win against the Broncos, be it a narrow escape or just a big win, you're going to get the praise. You're going to get the bandwagonists back on your side. And to those bandwagonists, I say, fuck you. I hate people like that.
I think Schaub will do well, but, he is playing a terrible Bronco defense. So,
yeah, they're probably still shaken up from that loss with the Chargers at home. Yeah,
I really don't think that anyone's going to jump back on the Schaub bandwagon. I think that bandwagon got burned.
It all depends on how he does against the Broncos. And I mean, it's like with the Cowboys game. Whenever Romo answered, Peyton answered right quick.
Right.
And it was just a matter of who keeps scoring until somebody slips up. And guess who slipped up at the end? Romo. Yep. And who slipped up at the end twice at the end? Romo with the Packers. But to be fair, the defense had just as much blame. You don't let them score 30 unanswered points.
And they should have been running the football. But that was last week!
I know.
Speaking of Tony Romo, he gets the Washington Redskins this week. Oh my god.
Before we move on, I just want to bring up one thing. Did everybody forget about TJ Yates? Because I think that's a thing. It's like, you got TJ Yates if Schaub is to fuck up. Just remember that. But with Redskins, you don't want to lose to the Redskins, and you shouldn't. But then again, I said that with the Packers, and guess what? They did lose to the Packers. You can't lose to the Redskins, Cowboys. You got to win both your games, and you're good.
Oh my god. Just the Washington Redskins defense.
There is none.
And special teams. I swear, Dwayne Harris could literally return 3 kicks on their special teams.
Well, he did one, remember?
Yeah.
And he nearly returned 2.
I swear, both teams, theoretically, because both teams' special teams defense is horrible, I swear, if back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdowns could happen, I really think it's going to be a crazy game between the Cowboys and Redskins. I'll give you my prediction in the next part, but I really, really think that could be an amazingly high-scoring game.
Hopefully. I mean, we all predicted that the Broncos-Cowboys game was going to be very low-scoring on the Cowboys' part, but it was really one of the closest games in all of the whole season. Well, the whole season of football, really. I think that's still holding the record for highest-scoring game of this season.
Yeah, it's right up there. Well, another game got close last week.
Which one was that? Oh, wait. You mean the
Kansas City beat down of Oakland?
What was Oakland? Yeah. The thing is, it was just 51-38, wasn't it, or 31?
It was 56-31.
Yeah, they didn't get to 48. If they did, that would have been about even.
It was the second biggest beatdown of the year, but I really think this could be the either number 1 or number 2 highest scoring game of the year, because both defenses can't stop anybody, and Kirk Cousins is better than RG. Well, he's playing like a turd right now, so RG turd.
Yep. But I don't know. It seems to me that the Cowboys' defense is really good when they play against their rivals. And these next 2 games are their rivals, so who knows? Maybe the defense will actually play better. Especially knowing that they are under pressure, saying if you screw up, it could cost us the entire season.
They very well possibly could.
Because I've noticed rival teams like to play much more better. I would say it's a psychological effect. So
I would say so too.
But Romo, run the ball when you're in the lead up by 10. You want to run the ball, milk that fucking clock. Take it in, score what you can. That's all you need to do.
Yep. Speaking of scoring all that they can,
Detroit?
My Detroit Lions need to score more than 7 points in the first half of a game. They need to absolutely lay the woodshed to a very struggling New York Giants team.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Just throw it to Kelvin Johnson, throw it to Nate Burleson, and stop with the garbage footballs throwing it sidearm and underarm and all these other stupid things. Just throw a nice spiral pass, please. And Kelvin Johnson, please hold on to the football.
Is he becoming Des Bryant? I really hope not.
All we need is more touchdowns. The defense actually played well last week, and they still lost. This week, they theoretically could pick off Eli Manning 5 times because Eli Manning's having a horrendous year.
Yeah, because if it's not Houston, it's the Giants with a very surprising season.
The Giants thought they turned it around, and then they just collapsed again.
Because Romo threw them literally into utter despair. Not that I'm complaining, I don't like the Giants at all.
Speaking of utter despair, my Lions need to play like they have utter despair. They're in second place, and they lost 4 out of 5. You can't do that in this part of the season. You just cannot do it.
It's like what they say, you intercept early instead of at the end. It's like this, you're better off losing earlier games than you are nearly at the end where it really matters.
Right. They'd be like one of the very few teams that ever start a season 6-2 and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, because them and the Cowboys are sure going that way.
I have no hope right now, but
I think are the Cowboys the only team with perfect division records? They might just be.
I think so, and they're not.
And they're not even guaranteed to the playoffs.
They've lost everything, but they still have good tiebreakers.
Yep.
Oh man. Speaking of, of a good matchup, here's a good matchup: the New England Patriots playing at the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, Tom Brady really needs to get his act together because theoretically it might be possible. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on this. I could be wrong. Miami could actually take their spot if they win their games and the Patriots lose their last two. But if you lose to the Bills, what's wrong with you?
Theoretically, yes, that is possible that the Patriots could lose their spot.
I mean, they get the playoff spot if the Ravens lose their next one, they're playing Cincinnati, and I have doubt that they can beat Cincinnati at home, especially when they want to win get a revenge match, seeing as they lost what should have been theirs match at the Ravens earlier this year.
The Cincinnati Bengals will be heavily favoring the New England Patriots, which is a crazy thing to say, but yeah, the Patriots.
Yeah, even if the Miami Dolphins don't take their spot, at worst, the Bengals would take the number 2 spot from them, right?
Yeah.
That's at least minimum. That's minimum damage right there. If they lose one more game, I think,
right,
and the Bengals have beaten them once.
Right. It's quite the conundrum for the Baltimore Ravens. Really, they're in the driver's seat, but they control their own destiny. If they win out, they can make the playoffs.
Yep. If they lose one game and Miami wins their both, they're in.
Yep.
And
the Ravens need Joe Flacco to play like Joe Flacco of the playoffs last year. They don't need him to play like the season last year or the season this year. The season games, he's been terrible. In the playoffs last year, he was amazing. They need him to play like that, and then they have a chance.
Yep. As for Tom Brady, I wouldn't say he's doing a bad job. I think that the loss of Gronk must have been impacting them a lot, but it's like you can't just rely on one player. And this isn't even the quarterback. Not even a defensive leader or anything, or offensive leader, because the offensive leader is usually your quarterback.
Right.
Unless you're Detroit Lions, and then it's Calvin Johnson. If not Reggie Bush.
Stafford's up there, too. He can throw the football 70 yards. I mean...
Yeah, but who do you think of more when you think of the Detroit Lions? Calvin Johnson. He's on the NFL Madden logo, or game logo.
Yeah. The curse of man. I blame that for my Lions' failure then.
Wait,
Screw this!
Well, aren't the Detroit Lions on the 25 logo? Well, not the Xbox One and PS4.
That might be Barry Sanders.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Old school guy, but what the Patriots need to do is they need to get the ball in Shane Vereen's hands, and he needs to keep going. And he's the difference maker on that team. If they can get the ball in Shane Vereen's hands more, he'll be matched up against linebackers and stuff. Get it in his hands.
He'll be like
Throw
rookie
him
Miles
the football.
Austin. Remember Miles Austin when he first debuted? He was a monster. But now they all pay attention to him, and that's why Romo's hardly throwing the ball to him.
But this guy is a running back, so he's always be delayed coming out of the backfield. I mean,
yeah, but if he pushes through, he's gone.
Yeah, exactly. What they need to do is feature Vereen, but still run it with Ridley. Keep both of them in the backfield, so that way they don't know what's coming.
Yep. In fact, you could do a double fake and pass it to someone because they were expecting a rush.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do with Ridley and Vereen in the backfield at the same time.
As for Patriots defense, they just gotta mess with Flacco. Just regular hits that you might make after the throw, or just right as he's throwing, will really get to him. That was why Tom Brady had a lot of trouble in the first half against the Texans, because he was getting hit by Watt a lot.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, if you hit Joe Flacco or Tom Brady in this game, most likely the refs are going to throw a flag because, you can't
unless
play
you're in Carolina.
You can't actually play defensive football in the NFL anymore. You touch the quarterback's shoulder, oh my God, flag, roughing the passer. It's like, what the hell, man? Let them play football. Oh my God. Tom Brady got hit in the finger. Oh, geez, time to throw the flag.
It's supposed to be on the head or the legs, you idiots.
So someone get the ambulance out. Oh, my God. I mean, what the hell hell's the matter with this crap?
Hate to cut you off, Bill, but we're out of time. So we'll see you guys when we're making our actual picks. So see you in a moment.